So we're back with the shotgun trio offset formation. And I just want to remind you guys that if you use the Seattle Seahawks playbook and the gun trio offset formation, you can take advantage of PA Hawks dig, verticals, and fake screen wheel all out of that formation. Here, I'm using again the trio offset weak. This is for custom playbook users, but you can still take advantage of an entire scheme out of the Seattle Seahawks playbook. Now, as you saw when the video started before I paused, is the only difference is we had the running back on the right and we audible to trio offset weak, which just moves the running back over to the left. And my whole custom playbook is set up so that all the transitions in between formations are set. Now here what you're actually looking at is gameplay from way back early on, and I was actually just using a regular playbook. There are some playbooks that have both. They just don't have that main play PA Hawks dig. So we're going to take a look at verticals, and we're going to talk about why all of these plays go hand in hand. Now in verticals, as you know, after watching the fake screen video, is that they're going to have to really pay attention to X and circle for those high point passes. And once they do, and as you see here against a cover 2, we can hit this guy deep if they overcommit. So we're going to watch the gameplay footage. Here is where I flip it, and I want you guys to know that when you're running the custom and stuff like that, a lot of times what I will do is make sure that, because this route again this year, just like last year, the running back speed in or speed out from out of the backfield in verticals is one of the best routes in the game again, because it's still very, very tough to defend. So we go to the short side of the field. We know that it's not going to be a cover 2. At least I did in this particular case. And then we're able to get in for the touchdown because that route is so fast and so glitchy. So again, high point pass. He's ready for the route out of the backfield, and we just hit him with the high point. And he does the right thing here by trying to run into it and make the user pick that way. If you stand and strafe, your chances of picking this are a lot less. So just take a look real quick. We do have the tight end on the out route, which is a nice route to add to this play, because then we've got the running back doing an out, we've got the tight end doing an out, and then we've got 3 routes going downfield vertical. So just that by itself is fantastic. So that's why this scheme, just even by default, without making many adjustments, I mean, you're going to run the PA Hawks dig as is, you're going to run fake screen wheel as is with the adjustment of putting the tight end on either a streak or an in route. You're going to slant the inside guy. So you will make some adjustments, but 4 verticals out of the trio offset weak just by itself is fantastic. So again, we hit that high point pass. And let's take a look at the next play again. So this time, again, we have 2 routes going downfield vertical. Now one got pressed to the inside. So the 2 high points are not an option this year. But as you see, that route out of the backfield is so tough. Again, and just take a look at how the tight end, the running back, and then the 3 routes downfield vertical. So circle as the #1 high point pass quick read. If it's not there, as you saw, he took it away right there, you're going to then go to the tight end. You're then going to go to the running back. And then because we've got the outside left defender playing down low in a cover 2, depending on what we see, we could potentially hit the other 2 vertical routes on the far left. So it is really tough to defend all this when you're talking about adding in PA Hawks dig, etc. Again, just take a look. We've got these 2 routes, and that route just zooms out so far that he's using it. And at this point, we can hit square or we can hit circle. We roll out, and it's circle for a big play all day long, and we take a 2-score lead. Now, if they're blitzing heavy, of course, we can block the tight end, especially in man coverage. R1 is going to roast man every single time. Cover 1, it's going to roast that. He tries to play it too fast, and we pick up the yards. Now, another thing that is very underrated this year are whip routes. Whip routes are fantastic because they look like drags for a half a second, and that's going to keep your opponent, especially when he's got to worry about the high point pass and the tight end, if he sees that the tight end's going to look like he's going to go on a drag, then he's certainly just going to strafe over the middle and try and get a pick. Then when he cuts to the outside, though, that's we can hit him for a 4, 5, 6 yard gain. And again, we don't always just have to be high point passing to the slot, as you see right there. If we scroll back and we take a look at Gronkowski on this play, he's blitzing on this side. They've got a slot defender over the middle. We can just hit him with that high point right to the seam. So a lot of it has to do with the personnel, because you're always going to want to be going to your tall guys. That's why, in CFMs, I love drafting my own teams, because I know what I'm going to be running, and it's going to make stopping what I do so hard. And again, look at R1, look at X, and then the vertical routes. I mean, I know it's only verticals, but when you take into consideration the other plays that we're running out of this, especially when we're talking CFM and we've got a custom with trips, tight end, etc., it's going to be very, very tough. Now, the video is coming to a close here. So one thing I wanted to let you guys know regarding the cover one, I've talked about it a lot. When people run cover one, it's going to be man coverage, of course. Sometimes they'll press, sometimes they won't. The one thing that you need to be aware of are flat routes, either hard flats or cloud flats by outside defenders, linebackers, or as you can see right here in an example, just take a look at the flat defenders playing to the outside. Let's just pretend it's man coverage. So you have to be aware of that and understand that if you're facing the cover one, try not to just have the guys up the seams, because in man coverage, high point passing is going to be a little bit difficult. And then the routes to the outside, like say the running back route or the tight end, it's going to be hard because they've got the clouds and the hard flats to the outside. That's when I like to mix things up a little bit and use in routes over the middle, because they're always, very rarely do I see people putting guys in yellows when they're running cover one. It's always going to be flats to take care of the outside. That's when you really want to kind of hit them with a high-low over the middle. Maybe a deep in route, so a 10-yard deep in, and then a short deep in underneath. So circle on the deep in, and then the tight end on a shorter one. That way, the flat routes are spreading out, and then now we can hit them over the middle of the field, and our opponent can only use one of them, and in routes are going to beat man coverage, right? So all we're going to do is go to the opposite guy that our user opponent defends, because the ins are going to beat man no matter what. So just a little bit of a tip there against cover one. I know a lot of people are struggling against it this year, so just that tip that, those flat routes are going to be what they're running on that cover one. That's really about it. 4 verticals, again, it's fantastic. I love these, but, get away from this 4 verticals play if they're running a lot of that cover one.